Good afternoon, everybody. My name is MiAhTheKing, and today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Islets, or Islets, whatever. Anyway, the game was developed by Kyle Thompson, thank you Kyle, and published by Armor Games Studios, thank you Armor, selling for $20 American and not in early access. By the way, I tend to review a lot of indie games on my channel, and if you're looking to find a good community where you can hear a review about an indie game that you might be interested in, maybe try subscribing and checking out what I've done that week. I also like to take suggestions as long as enough people ask for it. Now then, this game is advertised as a Metroidvania atmospheric platforming adventure game, a side-scroller platformer adventurer. Y'all have seen those before, and today we're looking at another one. In this game, you play as a little cat person by the name of Eiko. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. It could be Ico, but I'm going to be Eiko. Anyway, Eiko is, well, he's kind of a failed adventurer, a hopeful warrior who once set out to accomplish a goal. You see, a long time ago, these 4 islands came together to create a utopia? Okay. Floating islands, by the way. Anyway, the native people built some kind of cores inside each island so that they'd stay that way, stay together, but they broke apart anyway. Ever since then, hundreds of thousands of brave warriors have trained and set out to find out why and how to put the islands all back together again and give the world a utopia once more. And since these are floating islands, clearly we're going to have some floating ships, even ones that have no sense of how they are flying in the first place, kind of like how you saw at the beginning or might be watching now. Point is, you are set to go about trying to discover the mystery and one day bring all the islands back together. And that's pretty much the story here. Now, overall, I normally don't really like side-scrolling platforming adventure type games. They just aren't really to my liking, not sure why. The point is I don't usually play them by choice, so going into this I was already a little iffy on the whole thing. Now, I'm going to get to the negatives eventually, but for now, y'all gotta hear these pros. Okay, so the game is charming, it's adorable, it's fun, and I love the art style. The art style is cutesy and adorable, along with the entire look, feel, and theme of the game. Little cat person just looking all cute as he slashes his way through mobs of more adorable looking enemies. But along with his adorableness, the game is rather charming overall. In its frequent, randomly spaced about dialogue, you get a sense of the charm in the writing. Well done, developers. The gameplay mechanic is pretty simple too. Move around, up, down, bow and arrow, and sword attack, dodge, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But that isn't all. As you play the game, you will encounter little floating cat heads, I think they are, which signify an upgrade. You grab it, and you can upgrade your little cat guy, either making his attacks faster, making his attacks do more damage, giving him more health, etc, etc. And there are other things too, like little puzzles or challenges, which also give you an upgrade, but for some of these you'll have to explore, think outside the box, and try to find some of these things on your own. There are also random items spaced about to give you more of this game's currency. There is a town that you can visit whenever you want, where you can use your currency to purchase things. And there is almost a kind of linear free-roaming mode where you are flying about in a little airship, which you can buy upgrades for at a later date, which will improve your overall flying and maybe even let you do some air combat, and it starts off as just like a little box with propellers, and I'm really hoping that the more I can upgrade it, the bigger and cooler it looks. There's even a cool function where it's like they have like these little orbs in the sky and you can launch yourself towards them. My brain is slipping on the word, but you can like use your sword attack and jump from one of these little orbs to the next so you can find your way to new areas. It's pretty cool. I was not expecting that little bit of extra coolness in terms of the air box thing that you can get, your airship, and the fact that you can travel around with it. Like, I wasn't expecting that, and especially in a little side scroller like this, but it's very much appreciated. Overall, I was actually having fun, and nothing was too hard for me to eventually get through, though sometimes those bosses made me more than a little irritated. And that price tag seems pretty appropriate as well. Depending on how long this game might take, I feel that price tag is pretty good. I mean, in an hour I got one island done, but it was a starter island, and I'm not even sure if I got it all the way done. Half an hour, and I kinda made it through another island before moving on to the third, but I'm only just barely there. Now, I didn't completely clear these as far as I know, and I didn't really do a thorough search either. I was kind of just passing through, so it'd probably take 2 to 3 hours to complete the first 3 islands, maybe, because I'm not 100% sure. Now, do they get longer? Is there more to do? Hard to say right now, but I feel like this game could take maybe 6 hours, which technically does justify that price tag, so whatever. Plus, there is all the other stuff added too. That, to me, personally makes the price justified. And that music is just so pretty and nice. It's so well done. The sound effects and even the cutesy little nonsense voice acting of the companions you'll meet are all really well done for, especially in terms of the look and feel of the game. I'm actually listening to the music of the game as I'm writing this because it's just so pleasant. But now we're going to go into the things that I didn't like or appreciate. The first thing I really didn't appreciate was the controls. The game made no mention of being played with a gamepad, even though it seriously wants you to, clearly, which is another game made on PC and sold on PC, yet not being optimized for PC. This is getting frustrating. I'm going to stop playing these games if this doesn't change. These controls for keyboards were so awkward that they were so awful and awkward that I immediately had to change them. Which, by the way, thank you devs for giving me the ability to change them, unlike some devs out there who don't and don't care what you think or feel. I was able to make them work a little bit better, but I gotta ask, why not make it so you could use the mouse if you're gonna sell it on a PC? Why not just change it a little bit? And why would you make it so the arrow keys are the ones that move you and WASD are for attacking and whatnot? Normally WASD is to move, that's what all gamers know, and that other keys are used to fight and activate skills and whatnot. So not only was it weird, it just overall didn't make any sense. I did change them, which helped, but even so, I found myself struggling. If you can, play this with a gamepad, not the keyboard, and honestly, if you don't have a gamepad, maybe don't play it at all. It's that bad. Another thing I find slightly concerning is the length of the game. I briefly mentioned something about this before, but I already got through the boss on an island. Now hopefully there is more to do, and I'm not technically done with that island, thus giving it some more playtime. But it is making me a bit nervous, and I hope I'm correct in assuming that just because I beat the boss doesn't mean that I'm done with that island. However, other than those two things, I don't have anything else negative to say about it. It's a pretty darn good game. I mean, overall the graphics aren't the best, but they are cutesy and charming. The characters are charming, and even the main protagonist kinda has you, the player, rooting for him. The combat is fairly simple, but it can still be challenging at times. There's a difficulty, so you can change the difficulty based on how you want to play. There is a massive world with many different biomes and maps and layouts, thus giving you variety in your adventuring. There are two different types of adventuring, which is a nice change of pace. You know, there's the one where you're running around the map, and then there's the one where you're in the airship. There's character development and skill upgrades, maybe 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, if not more, all for $20. Honestly, I think this game is totally worth it. If you enjoy games like this, then you'll definitely get a kick out of this one. It's not as challenging as some I've played before, so even if you're just a casual player or not looking for something too hard, then this would still be a good fit for you. I know it might not be as beautiful as some, or as engaging or in-depth as some, but it's still got its own charm to it that I just can't describe that makes me want to keep playing it. Hell, even me, right? Someone who doesn't normally like these games was liking this. I was enjoying this. So maybe even if you don't normally play games like this, I'd still recommend you check it out. So yeah, I recommend giving this game a try. Alright, so that's all the time I got for this video, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a big favor and hit that like button and that subscribe button so you'll know when I put out new stuff, which I'm trying to do weekly, by the way. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.